Two big systems will be roaring past the Sea of Japan between today and the 12th of January. Will they be bringing any more snow to the north part of Japan? Will Kanto finally get a chance to see a decent winter white blanket? All this and more in this edition of Soracast for January 7th, 2025. This week's weather in Japan will be marked by two significant low-pressure systems moving across the country. They'll be coming from the Sea of Japan side. The first will cross this afternoon, January 7th, and the next will come across this coming Saturday. At the moment, we are in a typical winter weather pattern, which known in Japanese as Seiko Tote, which literally means western high pressure and easterly low pressure. Much of Japan is under the Asian high pressure dome, while the low pressure systems out in the Pacific don't really touch the Japanese territories that much. However, localized lows and highs can develop within these larger patterns, and that is exactly what we have going on this week. But in between these low pressure moves, we will have fairly stable weather across the country. The Sea of Japan coast, Tohoku, and Hokkaido will see significant precipitation when these systems go by, but they will also get a brief pause from the rain and snow when high pressure does settle over the country. The best way to show this is on my favorite chart, the 1500 meter temperature map. So let's go to that right now. Remember, the 1500 meter map shows temperatures at altitude, and they do not fluctuate the way that surface temperatures do. So that gives us a better idea of the mechanics driving weather here in our neighborhood. Our 1500 meter movie today starts at 9 p.m. last night and moves through to late evening Sunday the 11th. Here on the 8th, you can see that first low trying to pull up southerly air as it circulates around. Remember, low pressure moves counterclockwise in our hemisphere, so you can see this effect very clearly. However, it's not really that strong, so it doesn't move much air. So let's move forward a bit. And next place we're going to pause is at January 9th at 6 p.m. You can see that new low forming over far northeastern China. Now, watch as it starts to move across the Korean Peninsula and over the northern part of the Sea of Japan. It gets much stronger as it starts its journey, and by Saturday afternoon, it really is pulling up a lot of southerly air. This will give the Pacific coast area of Japan some warmer temperatures than normal that day, but when that warmer, moist air meets colder, drier air, it sets the stage for some heavy rain, sleet, and snow along the Japan coast and elsewhere. Which means by Sunday, we're back in the same pattern of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow over the coast of the Sea of Japan, Tohoku, and Hokkaido that we've seen. Here, check this out. You can see the blanket of freezing air, that blue area where the air temperatures are at 0 degrees Celsius or colder as it moves back over Japan. Winter weather patterns in Japan are pretty solid, so for forecasts, I like to split the country into two broad parts, which I call pretty arbitrarily Blue Japan and White Japan. Blue Japan here represents the area of the Sea of Japan coast on down to Shimane, also includes Tohoku, including Aomori out to the Pacific Ocean, and of course Hokkaido, while White Japan is basically everywhere else. Blue Japan, well, that's where all the winter precipitation goes and all the rain, sleet, and snow and all that nasty weather that we've talked about since November hits. White Japan generally gets nicer winter weather. Now, these borders are more of a guideline than a rule, and weather exceptions can and do occur, but I think you get the gist here. There's really no other rationale for this division. It's just easier for me as a forecaster to say Blue Japan to represent this area instead of repeating the Sea of Japan coast, Tohoku, and Hokkaido several times in the forecast. And When we pop out of this weather pattern, whenever that is, in the next coming months, this blue Japan and white Japan division will be set aside. So let's look at our wild winter weather forecast coming up for this week. Today, January 7th, in blue Japan, fair conditions on Wednesday morning, turning rainy and snowy in the late afternoon. Rain along the Sea of Japan Honshu coast, snow up to Hokkaido as our first low pressure system of the week moves past Japan this afternoon and evening. White Japan, meanwhile, calls for cloudy in the morning, turning mostly fair later in the day. Sunny to partly cloudy from Sendai on down to Kyushu. Partly cloudy to cloudy in Okinawa. We have a slight chance of afternoon showers in Kanto, but nothing to really write home about. Temperatures across the country are largely seasonal, as you can see here. Okay, and January 8th. Okay, moving on. Well, let's hit Blue Japan first. Snow, some of it heavy, will be falling in the middle sections of the Honshu Sea of Japan coast. Lighter accumulations can be seen up in Hokkaido and down toward the Shimane area. White Japan, meanwhile, is a totally different story. Fair in the morning, turning cloudy in Kansai, Shikoku, and Kyushu in the afternoon. Sunny to partly cloudy up from Shizuoka up through Kanto and up toward Sendai. Temperatures, however, will be edging down, especially along the coast of Blue Japan, there the Sea of Japan coast, as that low pressure system pulls down cold Arctic air. Then we're beginning to pull into our 3-day weekend. Friday, January 9th, high pressure settles over Japan, dominating our weather for the day. Precipitation moves away, although some of it remains. Some parts of the mid-coast of Blue Japan, there on the Sea of Japan side, will actually get a little bit of sun and clear skies. Some cloudiness does remain along the western Pacific coast side, Kyushu, Shikoku, and parts of Kansai, but pretty much fair to partly cloudy everywhere else. And then we move into Saturday, January 10th. This is going to get a little crazy here as we head into our 3-day weekend. We have that second strong low moving past us. As we noted earlier, this one will be stronger and it will pull up a lot of warm air from the tropics. So a lot of the precipitation falling on the country on Saturday will be in the form of rain to start out with. But by Sunday, the low will be past us. And because of that, it will now be pulling down all of this cold Arctic air. But that air is also very moist with the water vapor that pulled up from the tropics. So you put that together, and Blue Japan, they've got a chance to see 15 to 20 centimeter snowfalls along the coast and up into the Alps. Hokkaido will probably get lighter accumulations of snow. White Japan, meanwhile, as always, fair to partly cloudy, not much of a chance of any precipitation anywhere in the area. Then, after a night of heavy snowfall, new snow will begin to taper off in the early morning hours. Some light snow will remain in Hokkaido. Snowfall totals for the day, Monday, most of it coming in the early morning hours, will total up to 15 to 20 centimeters down in the Japan Alps and up along Tohoku and into Aomori. Lesser amounts will be seen in Hokkaido and the southern Sea of Japan areas. Some rain also may make it to the Pacific coast of Tohoku. It will be sunny and fair in White Japan from around Iwaki on down to Kansai, with variable skies down in the south around Kyushu and Shikoku. That is pretty much your Japan weather picture through January 12th, 2026. And as always, if you like Japan-based weather and science-related content, you just go on and stoink that like and subscribe button. It would certainly do my heart good, I'll tell you. And we would love to have you along for the ride. You guys have a great week, everybody. If you're in a snowy area, please stay safe. Watch out when you're driving and have a good one. And we'll see you again on Soracast.